Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Gashi's Kaman TV. There is one serious problem with the opposition. There are challenges in the opposition. There are issues in the opposition. There are headwinds in the opposition. And many people do not want to talk about these challenges. Many people do not want to talk about them because they feel that if they talk about them, they are going to expose the opposition. But the truth of the matter is that there are challenges. The truth of the matter is that there are some obstacles that must be overcome for the opposition to win the next general election. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here for the first time, this is Gashi's Kaiman, and please like the video at this juncture. And I'm very, very humbled for all those of you who have been liking the video, commenting, sharing, and this way we are able to reach many viewers. I'm very, very grateful. So, what are these challenges I'm talking about? Number one challenge, and I think this is the greatest, is the Mulebe question, Mulebe nation question. If you look at the Western or the Mulebe nation, the opposition does not know who is the kingpin of the Mulebe nation. Who is this person that they are going to bring in the opposition as a maybe running mate of the presidential candidate? Because the Mulebe nation is going to play a crucial role in the next general elections. The problem comes because there is George Natebea, the Trans Nzoia governor, who is actually, according to me, the most popular. Then there is Wamalwa Eugene, the former defense cabinet secretary. And then there's Okiya Mtata. I told you, if the elections were to be won, if the election will be won in 2027, you must look at the candidate who is appealing to the Gen Z. I remember last year in the Mulebe nation, Okiya Mtata looked like he was the Gen Z candidate. Today, Natebea seems to have overtaken everyone. But how do you do with, what are you going to do with the rest? What are you going to do with your Malwa? What are you going to do with your Malwa? What are you going to do with Okiya Mtata? If you pick any one of them, what do you do with the others? So that's the question that the opposition need to solve. That is the challenge that these people need to agree. Although, let me ask you, if you are to assist the opposition in identifying the person, the key person in the Mulebe nation, among the three, whom would you choose? The second greatest challenge is the presidential candidate. There's Kalonzo and Matiang'i. Between these two leaders, one of them will be the next president. That is the truth of the matter. If you look at, again, the Gen Z, I'm saying you have to look where the Gen Z are. What is their preference? Who is their preference between those two leaders? Is it Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, who was the vice president of Mwai Kibaki, a diplomat, a leader of a big party, Wiper, it's a big party, a man who controls about 2 million votes, a man who is very, very loyal? Whom would you choose, by the way? Then there is Matiang'i. Matiang'i, the bulldozer, known for working very hard, no nonsense man. Whom would you choose? Who is the Gen Z's candidate here? Who would attract more votes? Who would actually, for example, be the favorite? And there is also a problem here because Gachagua prefers Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. That is the truth of the matter. But is that what the Mount Kenya want? Is that what the country want? Because Gachagua controls Mount Kenya. Is that what Mount Kenya want? If you come from Mount Kenya, maybe you can let us know. Number two is that Uhuru prefers Fred Okingo Matiang'i. Is that what Mount Kenya want? Is that what the country wants? Because you see, if Uhuru comes, what does he bring? These are the questions that need to be solved. Unless that question is solved, unless there is an agreement that Kalonzo is the presidential candidate or Matiang'i is the presidential candidate, whoever will be the next president. If they don't solve that question, I don't know what they are going to do. And then you remember there are also other candidates who are coming up very, very closely. Akina Maraga, they are coming here, and people are asking hard questions. But the truth of the matter is that it is either Matiang'i or Kalonzo. The other challenge, this one is in Mount Kenya, is between Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta of Jubilee, Rigathi Gachagua of DCP, and Martha Karua. The big question is, I told you in my yesterday's video that they are agreeing that they must support one candidate. That's what they have agreed. There's no question about that. That they have agreed that if it is Kalonzo, if it is Matiang'i, they are going to throw their weight behind one of them so that the mountain votes are not divided. But now the elephant in the room is, now, what about the parliamentarians? What about the MCAs? What about the governors in the mountain? Are they going to field candidates? Are they going to agree? Because they can easily win. But there's an argument. I was discussing this with a friend of mine. And there's an argument that whether they agree or not, the truth of the matter is that whether you are elected with the Martha Karua's party, whether you are elected with the Jubilee party, whether you are elected with the DCP, the fact of the matter is that it will be at home. It is not William Samoei Ruto who is winning. The truth of the matter is that William Samoei Ruto cannot win any position in the mountain. So that one, they can agree that let the people decide. But there's a problem. But if they are going to vote for one presidential candidate, I think not a big problem. But the rivalry among the three parties is something that needs to be addressed. There's also the Nairobi County question. Kalonzo wants some regions to be left to him. Gachagua wants some of the region also to be left to him. Martha Karua is of the opinion that people should be left to decide. If this happens, if Kalonzo and Matiang'i and Gachagua do not agree on a Nairobi question, the opposition candidate, especially Raila's party, can easily take almost all the seats in Nairobi. That is the truth of the matter. But there are some positions that wherever you come from, you cannot win. For example, Babu Owino is a sure bet. Whether he goes for the governors or the youth, I'm telling you, it is the youth who are deciding now. It is not even the communities. Now, if it is Babu Owino, if you are competing with the Babu Owino, hakuna haja achana na hii kiti. Achia Babu Owino. Babu Owino has it. In fact, you win with a landslide. Whether the MP, whether the governor or the senator, he will win with a landslide. And there's also Edwin Sifuna, the senator of Nairobi. There's no need of competing with this, Edwin Sifuna. Let the opposition agree that they are going to support these two leaders. If they do that, the better for them. But if they decide to go and compete with them, I think they'll be wasting their time. But there are other areas that the opposition in Nairobi feels that they can win. But the problem will be if they field different candidates. ODM will take it. Then there's the question of funding. The question of funding is giving the opposition a nightmare. 2 years campaigning is not a joke. It's not a joke. You need to have a lot of money to continue campaigning. And that is why Rigathi Gachagua took a break to look for funds. That is why when you look at now, when you look at the country today, the opposition wanaanza kwenda polepole ukiangalia when Gachagua is not there. The impact is already being felt because of the issue of funding. Because if they spend, William Samoei Ruto can actually campaign for 10 years. William Samoei Ruto started campaigning in 2017. That's the truth of the matter. He started campaigning in 2017. In fact, not even 2013. But it is from 2017 that he campaigned a lot. And even now, William Samoei Ruto has deep pockets. William Samoei Ruto has a lot of money and can campaign even for 10, 15 years because already he is doing it. But the opposition, unajua mifereji hamna ya maji. They are not in government, they don't have a lot of money, and even the coffers are getting dry. I don't know what you think, but from where I sit, the opposition need to sit down, come up with a strategy and agree how they are going to face William Samoei Ruto. That is my take, ladies and gentlemen. Please again like the video and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.